Welcome back, everyone, to Brown Bag Bets. Powered by BETSPERTS. We're your daily dose of quick hit handicapping and sports betting picks. Frankly, I was a little thrown off. I think you got to hear Andy starting the beginning of that wonderful Whitney Houston song. Maybe we'll have you finish it someday. Happy Friday, Andrew. How are we doing? What's going on this weekend? What are we excited for?
Good. I got 9 holes in this morning. Beautiful afternoon. It just feels like afternoon because I got up at 5, but it is a gorgeous Friday. Game was a decent game last night. Hockey. We have a finalist. I'm getting a little nervous for my usual USA wins the Stanley Cup joke. This was like the lowest seeded. I don't know. I think I'm working on it. I think we'll have a new hockey guest maybe come talk with us, talk a little bit about the Stanley Cup finals. We will have a finalist by then. So, or 2 finalists by then because we have a game 7 tonight. Friend of all of ours, Big Ten Watto Kelly is nervous. Big Islanders fan. He's a big Tigers fan too, so not as much nerves for the Tigers games daily. But we'll have both of our finalists. We'll talk some Stanley Cup finals next week. Maybe even have the NBA finals set by then. I mean, we've made a series of it. The Clippers made a series of it. That was great. Clips win. I made the joke. I said, like, I don't know. They looked like shit. We're getting CP3 back. Kawhi's nowhere in sight. Like, do the Suns just run here? And then I said at the end, I said, obviously after I say all that, we are going to have the Clippers win. You should probably just bet the Clippers now that I've said all this. So Clippers get it done. We've got a series. I'm excited about that. Really tonight though, Bucks. Hawks, no adjustment. I talked about this. Somebody in the chat, and they're right. You don't make big adjustments in the playoffs. And to be fair, that did get bet out to 8.5 on close in game 1. This opened. I mean, what would you see at an opener at like a sharp shop, Alex? Like 7.5 here.
Yeah, it was pretty much the same line. It might have been actually adjusted down just a tweak from the 8.5 that you saw. As I look around, 7.5 I think was just about the opener. So, like you said, there's not big adjustments here game to game. We'll see what happens in terms of the market coming back on the Hawks. Obviously, the Bucks have taken a little bit of money. I mean, a move from 7.5 to 8.5 is not anything to be too worried about. But we'll see if they continue to take money throughout the day. But you come back, you look at the matchup. We'll see what the Bucks can do, in terms of making some defensive changements and some adjustments for dealing with Trae Young, who had, probably the best game of his career. Was just absolutely spectacular in that game. So we'll see what they do in terms of trying to trap him more higher, get the ball out of his hands. We'll see what they look back and try to steal some stuff from what the Sixers did. They were able to get the ball out of his hands a little bit, but that more or less is going to dictate what happens tonight. And the Bucks know this is. And again, that's one of the silliest things to say in sports, a must-win game. It's a must-win game for both teams. But the Bucks can't go to Atlanta down 0-2 here. It'd just be an absolute disaster. So I don't know if I know I'm not laying the big number with the Bucks, but I'm also not grabbing the 8 points with the Hawks here. I have this number right about 7 myself. Maybe look for some live positions here, but I do like an under again, Andy. I know we lost by 3 points in game 1 on the under here, but we're going back to the well. I said I would. I said I'd keep betting this number if it was under 225, 226, and sure enough, they gave us 226 again. So fingers crossed we don't get boned by some late free throws here, but I like the under here. So we'll go under 226 again. 225 is fine too.
All right, yeah, we'll get that. And then not tonight, but in game 3, we will have our first boosted fun bet over courtesy of WinBet. And this is something too. You can, I guess, if this were for tonight, we could be, what are you going to trust? Like the actual numbers. I said, Giannis's point total was like 34 for game 1. Trae's was like 29, 28.5. So you can look at this boosted bet and say, well, Giannis has value, but also Trae is capable of doing something like he did in game 1. So for game number 3 on Sunday, we will have a boosted bet. Our friends at WinBet have given us just Giannis versus Trae. Even money, both sides, plus 100. No juice, 0 over round. This is a fun little prop bet. You can, again, combine this with whatever you want at some other book too, if you really want to create some arbitrage opportunities. But yeah, Giannis versus Trae, even ways, both ways, $100 limit. It's a prop bet, but I said don't give us one of these $25 ones, please. I don't need any of that in my life. You can get a hundy on this. So this will be Sunday night. Drew and I will probably talk about it. And yeah, what if it does tie? They should. I don't know. I suppose it'll just push. Like
It
you're
would
not
just be a
going to lose.
push. You have to get your money
Yeah, I
back.
think
But it's
it'll
a
be a
big free
push.
market, you know? How
I
often
know.
do you see that? Even money
we
both
should
ways, Andy.
at least it's not a three-way market. I guess I should bet tie. Yeah, you could bet if you think it's going to tie bet both ways because that'll be about the same anyway. Anyway, yeah, the boosted bet. Drew and I will talk about this a little later this afternoon and kind of come up with our ideas on this. I don't know if you had to bet this for Game 3. What do you bet now?
Right now, I would bet Giannis, but this is Sunday, so let's see what the Milwaukee Bucks come out and do from an adjustment perspective. But I think Giannis here plus 100 is what I'll be doing because I will be going to New Jersey probably tomorrow, maybe Sunday for reasons we'll get to in just a bit.
All right, no, that sounds good. So I'm kind of with you too, just based on where the prop markets stand on those two. Euros fire back up tomorrow, nothing tonight. I'm glad I didn't bet any Copa America because I kind of paper bet it. I just said, well, this is what I would have bet. Didn't go well. So you know how I am at soccer. Anyway, good thing I stay away from South America. Let's just go Uruguay. There's some fun results, but again, none of that for me. Just some looks for tomorrow. I looked at the over in the Italy match, and then I realized that is sort of predicated on maybe Austria getting one. I had a 2.5 plus money, but man, Italy just impenetrable right now. They're not giving up any goals. They are probably one of the top 3 teams right now in my mind. So I'm going to play their team total over tomorrow. Austria will give up goals to a better team. I don't know if they've played anyone quite as tough as Italy, so we'll go over 1.5 for the team total on them. And then the Welsh match. This is a goofy one. You have a very low total on this, and very low by whatever standards you want to go by. You'll see some lower totals in these knockout matches because you have to play it a little tighter to your chest. It's not like, we took a bad result. Let's get them in the next one and move on. These are knockout round matches. Wales, maybe best case scenarios, get it to extra time, get it to penalties. There is no Christian Eriksen still for Denmark. Wales is a decent team. They're more experienced getting into these knockouts right now. They made a semifinal here. It's not a team I was in love with in the groups, but I'm more than happy to back them here at plus 0.05. It's a draw. If they make it to extra time on the draw, you're a winner, or this is a win. If they win in regular time, you win as well. So basically betting that they draw or better during regular time, and that's a winner. If you're unfamiliar with a plus 0.5 handicap, that's how it works, and especially when the total's like 2. So I'll have those, and then Sunday matches I'll figure out once we get there. We'll burn those bridges once we get around to it.
Yeah, it's the same concept in the NFL as taking the dog when the total's very low. There's a little more value there.
Yeah, low total dog for sure.
Now, as mentioned, I might be going to New Jersey. That's just simply to take advantage of some different bet offerings because do you know what starts this week, Andy? We've got another Grand Slam event. I know it's only been like 3, maybe 4 weeks. We're back at it. Another fortnight of tennis. Wimbledon is here. The end of grass season, if you will, because it's only a couple weeks at this point. But just a ton of tennis coming up here. The draw was this morning. I'll be doing a preview and things like that for Ace Tennis previews. We'll be doing Eat Sleep Tennis, Net Worth, all sorts of good stuff coming out over the next couple of days here. But to get us started, again, lines started trickling out this morning. A handful of round 1 bets. We've got 4 totals here. Bianca Andreescu playing Alizé Cornet over 21.5. 2 players that are just dead nut over players. I have this total. I would hang honestly at 22 here. I would maybe even consider a 22.5 myself. So this is actually a little bigger play for myself. Went 2 units here instead of 1 on the other 3. Kerber Stojanovic over 20. We'll see in just a second. I've got a money line bet on Stojanovic, but expect this to be a very competitive match. I think that Stojanovic has the tools to at least get us to a 7-5, 7-6 here in the first set, would put us in great position for the 20. Would play this 20. Actually paid a little extra juice for this. I think this was minus 115. Would actually play 20 out to minus 120. 20.5 is okay at minus 110. 21, if you want to kind of plus money there, is not the worst bet in the entire world. Svitolina, Allison Van Uytvanck, that's what AVU stands for there.
AVU.
Over 21.5 games. Expect this to possibly go 3 sets, but definitely 2 long sets. Again, 21.5 here is a nice number on grass. Shuai Zhang is playing Karolina Mahova Have the over 20.5 here. Again, would have this 21, almost 21.5 myself. I think this could be very competitive. Mahova tends to be very good in Grand Slam events, but Zhang is very comfortable on the grass herself. And we'll see in just a second. I have another money line bet there as well. So we've got some totals there to start. As I mentioned, Stojanovic and Zhang will also sprinkle the money lines there. We'll play Stojanovic down to plus 300. We'll play Zhang down to plus probably 260, maybe 250 is worth a little bit of a smaller play. And then Anna Bogdan as well, have her plus 290. You saw I took the totals in a lot of those other matches, but a little concerned about the matchup there and her ability to sort of keep things close. Her opponent, Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova, you might remember, made a run all the way to the French Open finals. But despite how she plays and what you might think of her is not very good on grass, whereas Bogdan has had success, but at lower levels. Really, she's only ever played a few qualifying events for Wimbledon. I think she's qualified for Wimbledon twice. Yes, Dan, she might possibly have a knee issue you see there in the chat, but again, with a money line bet, make sure you look and find a book that is going to give you a cancel if there's a retirement or anything like that, as opposed to grading after the first set. But I think she's had enough time to recover from that and can be very dangerous in this match. So at plus 290, happy to grab her. Again, Stojanovic and Zhang as well, two players that have all the tools to really challenge Angelique Kerber as well as Karolina Mahova. So some money line stuff there, Andy. And because it's so early and we actually have a draw, we're going to talk tennis outrights, Andy. Are you excited?
Yes.
We almost never get a chance to do this, but the draw is out. You can find a whole bunch of stuff, and it's a very interesting draw on the women's side. I haven't had a chance to really crack into the men's. Andy, you look at the first quarter, Ashley Barty is our 1 seed. Not sure if she's 100% healthy. She had a leg injury after her last tournament. Says she's okay, but we'll see how it goes. Has a very manageable section. We'll have to play Joe Konta. Barbara Krejcikova, the French Open champion, is in there as well. But did you get a chance to look at this draw at all? We've got Azarenka in the first quarter. Andriescu's there, Kontaveit. So maybe some challengers, but it looks like it's Barty's if she's healthy.
Yeah. No, if she's healthy, she wins it. If she's not, Lord knows who does.
Looking through, the second quarter, this one's a little bit more open. Svitolina, you've got Mahova in there, and we're starting to pick up some names that I like. So I'll go through the outrights in just a second. Third quarter, you've got Pliskova, Alison Risk is in there, Jessica Pegula, probably not her best surface, but just someone I like to watch. She's one of the seeds. Kvitova in a really nice spot. I think we'll maybe see a Kvitova Pliskova. That would be fun. Maddie Slam Keys, we'll see how she does on the grass. Someone, again, that doesn't play a lot, but has some chances. And the fourth quarter stacked. You've got Iga, Ons Jabor's in there, Muguruza, Alexandrova, Rybakina, Sabalenka. The drive is very good. Again, I'll be doing a full written preview, but you can see on the screen now, I went through and sprinkled some outrights this morning. And this might look familiar to you if you've seen my written previews before, or if honestly you do anything or follow our buddy J-Maz, because I really kind of stole this from him. This is something I've been doing, but I liked his format and the way he put it together. And what you see here is kind of my staking and then the odds at which I bet all these players. And what I'm trying to show you here is, although I kind of have a big list, we're going to take Rybakina at 25 to 1 or better, Mahova at 40 to 1 or better, Bencic at 40 to 1 or better, Kerber at 50, Alexandrova at 50, Ons Jabeur, there was a 48, 45 is fine, and then Alison Risk at 100 to 1 to better. And we look through there, what is that, 7 names? Seems like it's a lot, but you can see my staking there in the first column, start kind of with half a unit and then a little bit less all the way down. You get to a little more than 2 units risked. And worst case, Andy, we're going to win about 10.9 units. You can see there's some higher numbers over there on the left. Say, for example, Miss Risk or Mr. Boer, one of those higher numbers wins, we can get as much as 11 units, and it looks a little bit better. But in total, Andy, we're going to take about 2 units at roughly 5.3 to 1 odds with a chance to bring home a little less than 11 if everything works out. And again, just trying to show you guys kind of the staking here, how you balance everything out. There are some people that advocate for kind of flat staking over kind of all these players. But for me, this is a good way to make sure that I'm not outlaying too many units, frankly, in an outright market that is pretty heavy vig. And it helps you kind of understand overall how I'm attacking it. I've got these 7 women at 5 to 1. The implied probability, Andy, that's 1 divided by 6, so about 16% chance or better. And I like, these 7 women or so to win this tournament, closer to 20%. So put them all together. It helps me frame it up. Again, keeps my units down a little bit, but I'd be more than happy to acknowledge any arguments for, flat staking. So yeah, feel free to take this. Happy to help you guys with the math a little bit, but should be pretty straightforward for anybody that's been in Excel. And all the credit in the world to J-Maz, because I stole this from him.
Yeah, I'll probably play these because it doesn't look like I'm getting an outright thanks to Mr. Kevin Kisner, who is 8 under today through 16. It's not running away, but him and Bubba are tied. I don't have those guys outright. Let's go Taylor. Let's just go Taylor Gooch for now. So speaking of golf, yes, I got a couple plays. Oh, I have more Taylor Gooch, and he does not start till 1:40 p.m. So these are afternoon plays. Gooch over Zach Johnson. Nothing juicy, not laying any strokes today, but Gooch over Johnson. Gooch is somebody I've backed a couple different ways. I think I backed him yesterday. I definitely have him as a top 20 play, 4-1. He was my biggest price on my top 20 plays. Currently sits tied for fifth. So hopefully I don't jinx him here by betting more, but I'd love to cash a 4-1 on a top 20 play. Need him to keep playing well. I think he can over Zach Johnson. Scheffler over Answer. Answer is broken right now. I don't see that improving today, and I still do like Scotty. He is one of my outrights this week. And then Garrick Higo. I don't have a big sample size. I know I'm working with some stuff from some other tours, but I still like the way he's playing over Mark Leishman, who's somebody I don't like betting against a lot, but at this price I will, minus 105. So just 3 afternoon plays for me. That's it for me for this week. That's it. I'm betting. I'll probably get some round 3 and 4 plays. I'll tweet those out. I'll have more Euro stuff over the weekend, and for sure, anything if I add any live outrights on the Travelers, I'll tweet that out as well. But before we go, I will be mentioning this today and likely every day for the next GD month. You can get yourself a Yeti tumbler. It's a giant 30-ounce tumbler. You know what a Yeti is. It's a really high-quality product. We're going to give you one of these. Yeah, if you sign up for a new WinBet account, who is our title sponsor, you will get yourself a Yeti. So all you have to do is sign up, deposit at least a $25 deposit, make your risk-free bet, send us a picture of your risk-free bet, and then, Matt, social guy, he's going to be like, hey, where do you live? I was gonna say, what size do you want? That was a sweatshirt thing. Like these are one size fit all. We're not giving different sizes. It's just the big size, 30 ouncer. So get that stuff over to the bets at BETSPERTS DMs or email Matt at betspertsgroup.com right down there. It is right in the picture. We'll get this picture up on Twitter. We'll get this picture out to an email to you. You will see this picture and you will know how to do it. If you need a sign up link, hit us up. Otherwise, it is in the pinned tweet at Brown Bag Bets on Twitter. And with that, let's call her a week. Let's get excited.
Squeezy.
Wimbledon deep dive. We'll probably talk some Wimbledon next week. We'll talk some other stuff, and yeah, and that risk-free bet, it is up to $500 if you want to get wild with it.
A lot of juicy underdogs to pick from.
There were some juicy underdogs there, those Wimbledon prices. So, thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you next week.